Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, peoples. Welcome to Sharp Ends. I'm in Maine. I bet you can tell just by looking at this kind of wooded area. And I'm on some property that my family owns up here. And if all goes well, tomorrow I'll actually be doing a stealth camping uh, nearby, which will be the first time I've made a video about stealth camping. So I'm kind of excited about that and a little bit nervous as well. But in the meantime, I thought I'd just check in with you guys and when you go on like a family vacation or whatever and you go out into the middle of the woods, sometimes you tend to bring some knives that you think you're going to use, and sometimes you bring knives that you don't end up using. But I thought it would be interesting just to go through some of the knives I decided to take with me on this trip, why I brought them, and just some general knife talk as well as we go along here. So, this is very beautiful and probably more beautiful than most of the knives that I have with me. But I'm going to go ahead and take this tabletop now. So here I have a bunch of the knives that I brought with me. First off, occasionally I fly in here. The place that we're staying at is very close to a place called Oven's Mouth Preserve, and it's kind of in the middle of the nowhere Edgecombe. This is a Rat Model 1, and the reason I have this here is because this stays at Landfall. Landfall's the name of the place. And the reason why is because sometimes I fly in and then I don't have a knife because I'm not going to check a bag just for a knife when I'm doing a little hop up here to like close down the cabin or whatever. So I just keep this here. It's a nice cheap knife. It's D2. It's going to do everything I need. It's big enough that I can do other things. While I have this here, let me just point out that, a Rat 1, a lot of people might scoff at it and say, hey, that's a pretty cheap knife and it's D1 or whatever. But look at how it's built. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 back spacers. Slab construction is really strong. And if you look at the lock here, the liner lock, it's past 50%. That means that if this fails because you're batoning with it, this is actually going to go over here and it's going to fail in the permanently open position, which is actually great because if you're stupid enough to baton with this or need to baton with this, you'd rather have a fixed blade at the end of it than a knife that never locks again and might potentially chop off a finger. So sometimes when you look at a liner lock and someone says, oh, well, that's over 50% or whatever, well, that's just going to fail in a different way. And it's not necessarily a bad way. Anyway, great knife. I love it. And I love having this here. And I missed it, actually. I was like, I left this up here in Maine and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do without my Rat 1? But anyway, I brought my Shaman up. Why? Because I like compression locks and I like I like having a Spyderco on me. So, I brought one. I love this compression made easy here that I put on here. And also, this lynch clip is great too. This Shaman, I think, might be the best knife that Spyderco makes. I don't know, definitely one of my favorites. This Ergos and the way that it handles and everything, I mean, it's just a beast. I brought my Three Rivers Atom with me, full-size titanium scales. This knife just makes me very happy. The lines of this knife are, I think, extraordinarily sexy. It's just a great knife, very photogenic, easy to open, very, very slicey and sharp. It's just a nice knife. I brought the Serene. This knife is really growing on me. I like this Serene a lot, and I think it might be my favorite budget knife of the year so far, and I've tried out several of them. I don't know. It's definitely between this, the Echo, the, what's that other one called? The Pyrite, and the Quivet. One of those four. But this might be taking the lead here. Wish these the way this is rounded, the titanium scales and everything. I've already done reviews of this, but this is a great knife. You should definitely check it out. Anytime I'm around saltwater, I have this knife on me. It's the Quiet Carry Waypoint. Sorry, is this the Drift? This is the Waypoint. The way that it has this scallop, the way that it's hollow ground makes this extraordinarily slicey. And I've sharpened this on my KME, and it's just a phenomenal life vest knife. Whenever I have a life vest on, I have this knife on me. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes instead of that, I have this on me, which is a new knife, which is the Hogue Deca. And I've done a lot of customization to this. I've changed the studs on this. I've cleaned it up. I've sanded the washers in here. I've made several videos about this, and I changed the scales to this very nice aluminum scales. And yeah, this is also pretty cool. It has 3 back spacers as well, making it stronger than it should be. And it's just a sweet little knife. And I really like this blade shape. This compound grind has really grown on me. It's great. But also MagnaCut, so good knife for the life vest. I also have this knife, which I don't actually wear on my life vest because I don't want to get salt in it. I just love carrying this knife. It's this Strider. This PT Strider, ProTech Strider, makes me now want to buy a real Strider, which is unfortunate because a real Strider costs a lot of money. But I like the ergos of this, and the other Striders are just a little bit bigger, and I like the lines of it, and I like that it's an auto too. I don't know if I got a real Strider, I would definitely want a thumb stubbed version, I think, or an auto version of it. I don't think that I would want a flipper version of it for some reason. I don't know why, but I just don't think I would. And then, of course, the musical, oh, love that sound, Factor. They just released batch 3 for sale. I don't know if it's still available or not. You can double check on the website. I didn't go in for the batch 3 because I've already switched. This is a batch 2, and I've switched it out to the harder detent, and I put a tritium veil in it, and it works just fine for me. And honestly, if I get a batch 3 knife, I'll probably just get it if they make a drop on somewhere like DLT. This is actually where I think I got it from DLT, or one of the main websites that I got. I didn't get it from the batch. I just got it from a drop. And I like that better because then I could pay with it with Sizzle. Yay, Sizzle. We all love that, right? I'm going to pause for 1 second. Sorry, just had to pause it for a second. Had dog trouble. So I brought the Chavez just because I'm still, even though I've done a review of this knife, I'm still really liking it and breaking it in. And it's just a beefy knife. I like wearing it. It's unlike anything else that I have. And that sound and that click, it's just heavy, man. Heavy. The action is great. I love the way the kickstop works. It's a great frame lock. Yeah, it's fun to carry, pull out. I have another ProTech as well. That's the SBR short-bladed Rockeye, Les George design. And again, this is just a nice knife to carry because it's so small. Action is really snappy and great. I love this Ultim. Really nice. This is the S35 version of it. It's just, again, a nice knife to carry out. Very sharp, tuned it up. And that takes me to then the fixed blades that I brought. So I've been carrying around the Bravo a lot. I'm going stealth camping. This is a MagnaCut. This is the Bravo MagnaCut. It does have some patina on it. It's because I've been using it. I find it interesting. I think most of the patina that I've actually gotten on this knife is not from water. It's from blood. In other words, cutting up steaks and stuff like that. And also lemon juice. Not cleaning it off right away or whatever. So MagnaCut will stain a little bit or will patina a little bit. But then again, this is a hard use knife. This is a Bravo 1, and this is like the base model Bravo 1. In my opinion, probably one of the best fixed blade knives ever made, although I'm early in my journey of fixed blades, and I need more of them in my life, that's for sure. I brought this robust, Mora. This is the stainless version, and I brought this because when I go stealth camping tomorrow, I'm actually going by kayak. I don't think I want to, I don't mind losing this knife. You know, it is, for a Mora, it's kind of expensive. It's $70, but it's not $250. And this Scandi grind and everything will do everything that I need in a stealth camping situation. So I think this is what I'm going to be taking for that. And then I have another MagnaCut blade. This is the Creeley Mako. Now, in general, I have this as an in-pocket carry when I'm doing work around the house and or backyard. And I also use it in the kitchen too. It's a great little knife for doing basic kitchen work. And this sheath, this in-pocket carry sheath, is amazing. Built-in Ulti-Clip, just phenomenal. I don't know what to make of this knife. I still haven't decided. I think this is called the Field Trekker. It's from Monterey Bay Knives. Awesome sheath, okay? 3V, Ray Laconico design, fixed blade. The ergos aren't the best on this, but the blade is really nicely done. However, I've started using it, so I started scuffing up the blade a little bit. Very sharp, very practical. Yeah, I just haven't decided what I want to do with this knife. If it wasn't so scuffed up, I mean, maybe I can clean that off. I'd honestly consider using this as a giveaway, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do that. I'm getting close to 1,000 viewers. I've finally started getting to the point where I can monetize a little bit. And I promise that if for some reason you become a member of my channel or anything, I will use all of that money for no good. In other words, buying knives and giving them away. And you can join me on Patreon or channel membership as well. But anyway, this knife is the trout and bird knife, mallard and fish knife, trout fish knife from North Arms. Talked about it several times before. Great little knife. I use it in the kitchen all the time. Great little sheath. I've put an Ulti-Clip on it, so whenever I go camping or anywhere else, I take this little knife because it's perfect for cooking. And then, you know, I do all the cooking in the family. I found this Overland, which is basically a camping kitchen knife / utility EDC kind of type knife by CJ Schwartz, to be an amazing knife and really good in the kitchen regardless. Now, it's not as big as a full-size kitchen knife, but when you're at the old cabin in the woods and all you have are the secondary knives that you kind of, you know, take and let retire at the old house rather than keeping at your permanent residence, then bringing this along is great because it's just a phenomenal knife. It's easy to cook with, just awesome. And last but certainly not least, we've got the first production run of this beauty. This is the Field Trekker from Bark River Knives, or maybe it's the Field Knife. Sorry, the Field Knife from Bark River. Look at the grind on this. Convex grind. This is 3V. This burl, maple burl with green and yellow, is just phenomenal. It's a really cool knife. It's smaller in most every dimension than the Bravo. This is more of a utility knife, and this is more of a survival bushcraft knife. But this is just, in my estimation, a work of art. Just the way that it's shaped and everything, and how sharp it is, and the grind. It's just a really cool knife. I really like it a lot. So I'm glad I picked this up. It was probably my first expensive fixed blade knife besides the Bravo, and I don't think I went wrong with that choice. Oops, putting the knife in the wrong thing. Also, this sheath has a nice place to put my fire steel, which is pretty cool. So that's it. That's all the knives that I brought with me to Maine, and hopefully the next video that you see from me is going to be a stealth camp video, which in theory I'll be taking off on a kayak tomorrow with a Hennessy tent and going to some public land that I know of that is very private and in the middle of the woods, and I should be camping there. So I will see you guys next time. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye now.